Hi, my name is Jason Morgan. I'm a wildlife artist. Welcome into my studio today and also to my YouTube channel. Today I'd like to have a look at coloured pencils. It's a minefield out there trying to pick which ones. There's so many different brands. Each artist loves their brand in particular and they wouldn't be without it. But does it really matter that much if you can't get that particular brand? As we looked at in a video a short while ago, I looked at graphite pencils and I saw that the difference between the very cheap bottom of the range between the very expensive top of the range wasn't as great a difference as I was really expecting. I was really surprised to find that if you've got a bit of talent, you've got some good paper, the pencils are half decent, there's no reason why you can't create a great piece of art. Now, I don't know whether that's going to ring true for coloured pencils as well, or is there going to be a real big difference between the cheapest of the cheap and the very expensive brand. So let's have a look at this video and see what we can find out. Okay, coloured pencils. So let's have a look at the types that I've got for us to have a look at today. The top one there, Derwent. Now that's a wax-based pencil. 120 colours in the range. Out of those not colour fast, I found 11. So the description they give themselves is soft velvety, their softest coloured pencil yet, and it costs around about £27 for about 36 pencils. So that's up the upper end of the price range. Faber-castell Polychromos, that's oil based, 120 colours again. Now out of those, just 7 are marked as reasonably light fast. All the others light fast, so that's really good. Extremely break resistant apparently. Resistant max, light fast and the most vivid colours. That's their own description. 36 of those in a tin will cost you about £38, so that's quite a substantial difference between the Derwent. Prisma colour, very popular brand again, wax based. 132 colours in their range. Now from what I could see, 31 of those are fair to poor light fastness. Now for me that would be a problem. That's a heck of a lot of colours that are missing out of your collection. If you're a professional, you don't want the light to affect your colours, so you don't want your drawings to fade drastically over time, so I would be worried about that 31 number. But please check it out for yourself just in case I've got it wrong. I did look at their data sheet and I got it from there. Their description: soft, thick, vivid colours, perfect to blend. So 36 of those, around about £33.40. In the States they may be a lot cheaper because they are US brand, and perhaps we get in the Derwent a bit cheaper than the USA as well. Faber-Castell, I didn't even know they made these eco pencils. So eco-friendly wood casing. From what I can make out, they plant the trees that they make the casing out of for these. Vibrant, shatterproof leads. 48 is the only number of colours they've got. From what I could see, they're aimed really at the children's market or the hobbyist, and 36 of those are going to cost around about £8 to £10, so that's substantially different than if you look at the £38 for their top of the range Polychromos. Now last, I've got Chiltern Studio. No idea if they're oil or wax based. Number of colours, no idea. I couldn't find out hardly anything about these on the internet. They're something I found in a local bookstore. They're very cheap. 12 of those will cost about £2. On the back of their tin it says draws, tones and shades, no mess. Now they're definitely aimed at children, and these are the brand that I used when I did the graphite test, and there was a cheap brand of the graphite test, so I put them in there for comparison only. But hey, we could be surprised by how they perform, so let's not count them out just yet, and let's just do a few colours just on this paper and just see how these perform. So Derwent, soft, velvety, their softest coloured pencil, so it's very little pressure. There, I'm using good quality paper. So I'm going to do a few layers to see how they layer as well. So I'm slightly increasing the pressure here. So still taking the layers. Nine layers, roughly. 10. And you can see how much it's worn down. The actual lead, not substantially, pretty good. So I'll push really hard now, and I can feel that it is waxy now. And you know, each to their own. Some artists really want it to be waxy and easy to apply. Polychromos, so that's a really popular brand. What I've done is picked out colours that are as close as I could find in the range for the ones that I have, just so we can get a bit of a comparison on them. I can feel straight away these are not as waxy as the Derwent, which could be great for you, could be a problem. You know, at the end of the day, I'm just showing you these pencils side by side so you can make your own mind up, because especially with coloured pencils, people have their own preference. And also, when you buy a set of coloured pencils, if you're buying say 120 and it's costing you 100, 200 pound or so, you want to stick with those. Right, that's not taking any more. I'm pushing hard, that's its limit. Tuff is filled in, and that's wore down quite a bit as well. Okay, next up, Prismacolor. Different colour. I didn't have much of a range of these, so I've just picked the best I could. So it's not as dark a colour, but that's not the Prismacolor's fault. It's just that I've only got this a very light blue, or I've got a very, very dark blue. So I'm pushing harder, building up. So this is a wax based pencil as well. You can see the three of those are very smooth. They've all come out really smooth. So what about this Eco pencil? Faber-Castell. Couldn't find out easily at all much about it. Couldn't tell if it was oil like the usual one. So, you know, really we're looking at comparing these now. So I'm expecting the colour, I'm expecting them to be oil based as well. I should imagine the company sticks to one or the other. So that's a very light touch there. I can hear from the application that it doesn't sound as smooth. Pushing a bit harder now, but to be honest, it looks pretty good. You've got to remember that this is a third of the price, almost a quarter of the price of the top of the range. See, the colour's very similar. You know, that looks pretty good to me. Now, the problem probably with this Eco range is that they're probably not light fast. Yeah, so if you're selling your work, that's going to be an issue. It's going to be worth you contacting Faber-Castell yourself, asking them whether or not they're light fast. I don't know, I just couldn't find anything out about it. And if they're not boasting that they're light fast, there's a good chance that they're not light fast. If they was that good, they'd be promoting it. And there's got to be a difference between the prices there as well. I know there's only 48 colours in the range, but there's got to be more to it. So perhaps worth giving them a ring. Okay, Chiltern Studios, cheapest of the cheap. Let's see if there's any difference here. Can you hear the difference? It's really, really scratchy. Can you see how it's uneven in the application. Look at all those little tiny bits in there. It's probably very, very low amount of pigment, high amount of, I assume, wax. Feels waxy. I'm pushing quite hard there. You see, you're never going to get rid of those bits. So in this instance, and this is a dark blue, that's supposed to be a very dark blue, we're getting what we pay for within reason. Look at the difference there in smoothness between the Faber-Castell Eco pencils, £8 for 36. I found those on Amazon. And then you've got the Chiltern Studio here, and they are, that's as dark as I can go. Really dark, pushing really hard. This is as dark as I can go. Now in the UK it's difficult sometimes to get hold of some of these pencils. I got hold of the Polychromos in Hobbycraft, so you can pick up the sets there, and they also stock the individual pencils. So if you buy a big box of those, you usually get them at a much better price when you buy them in the box. So if you're starting off the hobby, you can get those from somewhere like Hobbycraft. I say Hobbycraft because there's not that many big art type of superstores in the UK anymore. That, you know, it's really gone online a lot. So Hobbycraft is a good one to go to have a look at. You can get those there. You can get the tins of Coloursoft there as well for the Derwent. The Prisma colour, I had to go online for those. And the Faber-Castell Eco pencils, I'm pretty sure you can get those in Hobbycraft as well, but I can't guarantee that. But I know we got these Polychromos from there. So in the UK, I think they're really easy to get hold of most of these brands. Perhaps a little bit easier than in the UK, especially with the Prisma colour. So what we found there, and look at that as well, what we found there is that you get kind of what you pay for with those colours. So, you know, some people like to blend as well. Now, you can do a little bit of blending. I've just got what we'd call a cotton wool bud in the UK. I think we call them a Q-tip in the USA. I'm just seeing if these will actually blend out. Now, some people want them to blend out, some don't. So I'm just showing you basically what happens to these, so you can make your own mind up. Use a clean side by there on this one. It should be that in there. So you can see the expensive ones don't really blend that much, do they? If you're using this type of method, you're not going to get much of a blend out of it. Let's try the Derwent Coloursoft, because they say they want it to be soft and waxy. Yeah, so pretty much all of those don't blend out really much like that. This really cheap one, you're getting a bit more coming off of the surface on there instead. So, you know, I'm not an expert on pencils at all. I don't say I am. I don't try and kid people that I am. I'm just showing you what I've found. So sometimes you want a pencil to be opaque. Now, what I've done, I've just drawn a black line with a Sharpie, and I'm just going to go opposite these, and I'm just going to go over the top so you can see for yourself how opaque some of these are. Now, perhaps you want them opaque, perhaps you don't. Up to you, but I'm just showing you. Because in the range, I've seen a lot of these act in the same way. So I've tried a few different colours with the Derwent. I've tried quite a few colours with the Polychromos. But let's stick to these blues for now so we can judge across. Now, can you see that the Polychromos doesn't look as opaque as the Derwent? And I'm putting loads and loads of colour on there. I'm really pushing hard. Let's put even more of the Derwent on, just so that I can give them all a fair crack of the whip here. Okay, Prisma colour. Now, pencils are known for being really quite transparent anyway, and that's why you get the problems of overlaying light over dark, which I don't really want to do. So you've got to look at other techniques if you want to do that. Okay, the Eco pencil. It's, you know, that's really comparable to the Polychromos. You can see this company, I would have picked them out as being the same company, to be honest. It's a really, really good pencil for £8, a set of 36. Chiltern Studio, which we've already shown, is a scratchy, horrible pencil. The problem with these type of pencils, you know, it's what children usually start with. They end up giving, okay, how it crumbles. Parents end up giving their children a set of these. The children are disappointed with them straight away and they never pick up coloured pencils again. And for that extra little bit of money, with the Eco, could have got a really, really nice set that they would have loved straight off. Okay, so that's just showing you the difference there in the actual opacity of some of the colours. So here I've taken two of the colours and I've created or drawn these cat's eyes. So they, you know, there's the top one I've picked Derwent Colour Soft, so that's that brand. That's the ones I got from the Hobbycraft. And then this second one then I've used Polychromos. So I had a big set, to be honest, of the Derwent Colour Soft, and I've got a set of something like 24 of the Polychromos. So that's the two different brands next to each other. So I think you'll agree they're very, very similar. So that just goes to prove that, at least for a subject such as this, that you can take a decent pencil and actually produce very, very similar results. If I didn't show you the one next to the other one, well, I don't think you'd know the difference. And also, I went online and I put on my Facebook page, and you know what? A lot of people rathered this one. So that's the Derwent brand. Other people really love this Polychromos brand. So it's really swings and roundabouts. The Derwent I found are easier to get a punchy colour. They are soft, they are velvety, they are waxy, and they're really good for the punchiness of the colour. The Polychromos then takes a little bit more time to build up. They're not as waxy or oily, they are not as punchy initially, so they're not filling the tooth of the paper up really quick. Now with Derwent, you've got to be careful of that. If you push too hard too quick, you're going to fill the tooth of the paper up. That's that roughness of the paper, and once you fill that up, you're not going to get any more layers on there. With the Polychromos, it's a slower process. Yeah, the lead is a little bit softer, harder, sorry, and when I mean harder, it's still a soft lead. It's not hard like that Chiltern one where it's really rock hard and you can't apply it. They're all soft, these top brands anyway, but that's a little bit harder than the Derwent, so you build up your colours a little bit more slowly. Lots of people like that fact that they build up more slowly with the Polychromos. Other people, they really like the Derwent and the fact that it's vibrant, punchy, and perhaps a bit quicker because it's soft. So, you know, you've got to decide yourself. What I think I'll do, I'll paint something or draw something similar on another video. Perhaps I'll do an eye similar to this and I'll cut it down the middle, and I'll draw the one half with one brand of pencil and the other half with the other brand of pencil, and that way you can see how I build these layers up as well. Hope you've enjoyed that video, and if so, I got lots more on my YouTube channel, and don't forget, the only way not to miss out on any new videos is to click the subscribe button. On my website I've got full-length feature videos, I've got reference photo CDs and ebooks, and also the new Easy Trace line art tool. So hope to see you either on my YouTube or my website jasonmorgan.co.uk. See you all again real soon.